Well, it's Sunday afternoon, the 3rd of March. Thanks for clicking on to today's edition of Vogan's Views on Europe. And folks, there's plenty of things to be looking at here. We've got wet and windy weather going to return to the UK over the course of the upcoming week. And milder will start to overrun the pattern across Europe once again. Many people would think winter is now over, and technically it is. Meteorological winter ended on the 28th of February, but March can be a wild month, and I've been saying this to my subscribers now about the end game of this winter and the type of pattern that we've got in place. It really does suggest that we need to not let our guard down too much. Now, I've also been trying to relate to the US weather pattern as well, trying to show my subscribers that what's going on in the US, and given the indices, the Arctic Oscillation and the NAO as well, is very much negative. The AO itself is actually tanking into the most negative it's been all winter. And that suggests to me that there's plenty of cold air in the mix on the playing field still. And while the UK and Europe is going to start to warm up over the course of the upcoming week, don't let your guard down. The ECMWF is now starting to suggest more and more about a cold period coming up in the mid-month period. Now, the blocking at the moment is favourable for the US in terms of cold and snow. It was snowing even along the coast of western Florida during the overnight hours last night. And we've got some very cold air right down along the Gulf Coast. Now, what's going on in the US at the moment is something we here in Europe need to pay attention to, because although that block is more favourable for them, with the high generally from Greenland extending west towards Hudson Bay, there's a shift going to take place, and the cold air itself is going to start to regroup and push back into Europe again mid-month. But when you look at the type of winter we've had that's been predominantly negative in the NAO-AO, it's certainly a situation that needs to be paid attention to, because anybody can look at models, anyone can look at a computer model and go, this is what I think is going to happen next week or the week after. But looking at the bigger picture, looking at the ENSO index, looking at the fact that the El Nino flatlined, it never really materialized. What might take place later down the road is what I think is going to be a La Nina during the mid and latter part of the summer. That could have an impact on our summer later in the period, and also even into next winter we could be looking at a drier winter because a La Nina tends to support more in the way of dry. But it's looking at the bigger picture, folks, and that's really the point I'm trying to make. I've already said that the month of February and particularly March can produce some big time snowstorms here in the UK as well, if the pattern's right. And when you've got a negative NAO and AO, the depth that they're in at the moment, that certainly suggests to me that winter isn't done with us just yet. Now, this is the ECMWF for today. I'm going to skip right through to Wednesday of the upcoming week, and you can see how Europe really becomes very mild. We're going to start to see areas of low pressure pushing in, and I really don't think the area of low pressure is going to cross right over the UK. What's going to take place is it's going to swing up towards the north, and the frontal boundaries associated with these areas of low pressure, they're what's going to cross the UK, bringing wind, rain, milder coming up from the south. Nice warm up over Iberia after cold rain, snow, all sorts of winter weather, even down across the south coast of France. But you notice here overall that we've got a ridge of high pressure that's really extending from, say, eastern parts of the UK, the North Sea, and the core of that over Europe, cold trough over the North Atlantic, and you're thinking to yourself, well, I don't really see this materializing. But as we progress towards next weekend, so that's next Saturday, the 9th of March, and again, you're saying to yourself, where the heck is the cold air going to come from? We've got a nice big area of low pressure sitting right here. That's going to be bringing more in the way of wind, rain to the UK, even if the core doesn't actually cross us. But look at the trough here to the north. Very, very cold air over Scandinavia, over northeastern parts of Europe. Folks, this is coming southbound, and as it does so, it's going to start to back west and back into the UK again. And as we can see here, by Monday the 11th of March, There's the cold air. It's starting to make inroads. This area of low pressure itself, you're saying to yourself, there's going to be a fight here between the cold air coming down from the northeast, milder, moister coming up from the southwest, and really we need to start paying attention to this here, because this here is enough to produce a snowstorm for the UK. And look at this here, by Tuesday the 12th of March. Now this is a long way out, and I always keep urging you that you can't buy this right away. But like I said to you, given the fact that the NAO and AO is strongly negative, there's your key. There's the evidence to back up this idea here. Because, like I say, you've got to look at this and go, does the indices, does the bigger overall pattern support this idea in the first place? And yes, it does. And I think it's certainly something that could very much play into the mid-month period. And look at that there. If I Wednesday the 13th of March, that would be one heck of a cold shock coming down. But as well as that, we've also got an area of low pressure that's probably going to be trying to push its way up towards the UK. Moisture flung into this very cold air coming down from the northeast, and you've got a snowstorm in your hands. Lots of moisture. This is the perfect time of year for some big time snowfall across the British Isles. I don't think we're going to go through this winter period without some sort of an event to potentially break the pattern and then push us into a springtime pattern. But it certainly looks as if we've got some interesting weather coming up mid-month. Let's keep checking back. Please read my posts on markvoganweather.com. If you haven't already done so, you can sign up for a 7-day free trial, full access to all the website. I encourage you, if you haven't done that already, to do so. But certainly, we might be in March, but there is still plenty of winter weather potential left. Hope you have a great weekend. Bye for now.